It's a character that made by media, the rock star stuff.
Right. You're right. It's sex, drugs, rock and roll.
Yeah.
I mean, all that stuff, you know.
And our lives as rock stars, because I have a band too, it's not so glamorous as they say, right? Sometimes you play in small places, and it's not every day that you play in the big stadiums.
Well, you got to play everything. You got to play venues, clubs, and large places. Because if you just stick to clubs, then you might as well stop.
Yeah.
You got to play. You got to play to 700. You got to play to 3,000. You got to play to 20,000, because you develop and you still learn.
Yeah.
By the crowds. You know, you obviously, if you're playing in front of 700 people, you're that more intimate.
Mm-hmm.
When you're playing in front of 3,000 people, it's a different situation.
Yeah.
20,000 people, you have to look at it in a larger scale.
Mm-hmm.
So everything to me is relative to how many people are in the audience. I mean, when the Ramones started out, when I joined the Ramones, we were only playing to maybe 600, 700 people a night.
Yeah.
And then we got more. And the largest we played in front of was the US Festival.
Yes,
in
for
California, 150,000 people. We
Wow.
never did that in our lives.
Yeah.
And that was a total different experience to
Yeah,
us.
for sure.
But we managed and we did a great show there. But
Right.
then after that, we'd end up in LA, and we would do, I think, 3 or 4 nights at the Whiskey. Whiskey or the Rainbow.
Right.
So that's how it varies.
Yes,
You know?
for sure. It's a mix of emotions.
Yeah, definitely.
Did have
definitely.
times that you play for very few people, like 50 people.
Yeah, there were a few times.
And
Yeah.
how do you feel about it?
Well, when I had my band, The Intruders, we did an American tour, and it was with a small label. I had all these songs written. I had about 35 songs written.
Mm-hmm.
That most of them would have been on the next Ramones album
Yeah.
if me, Johnny, and Joey didn't decide to retire in 1996.
Yes.
But we didn't make that album.
Mhm.
So I had all these songs, and I made some albums. But as we toured, I realized there wasn't a machine behind us with a PR and the whole thing. But you know what? Every show we played, we gave it all we got.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you play in front of 2 people, 20,000 people. You gotta always play as if you were playing in front of 20,000 people all the time.
Yes, and it's not usual when you hear a rock star, as you, saying about this with this kind of truth.
You do it. You have. That's the way I feel.
Yes.
You know,
The
I
way-
would never cancel a show.
Yeah. Very nice.
Because those kids paid money to see you. They traveled,
Mhm.
and they come first.
And can you tell us why you and Joe had the decision of ending the
Well, me, Joey, and Johnny sat down in a hotel room in California, 1994. We thought it was time to retire in '96, so we knew we had to tour for 2 years to finalize our tour commitments,
Mhm.
because you can't just say last show and it's in, say, in London. You have to do your last show in New York. You got to do a last show in L.A.
Mhm.
You got to do a last show in Tokyo. So it took about 2 years to do our last show.
Yeah.
But we knew it was time. We had a good run.
Mhm.
It was 20 years. And then the next thing I knew, well, 3 of them died.
Mhm.
2 died of cancer.
Yeah.
1 died of an overdose.
Yeah.
But what's amazing is that after they passed away, the Ramones got huge, big, all over the world. I mean, we're talking gold albums, the DVDs, and then the new punk bands came out, like Green Day, Rancid,
Yes.
No Effects, all these bands, and Nirvana, grunge, Pearl Jam loved the Ramones. So that helped our popularity get to another level
Yes.
of intensity. So we were very grateful. Even Kiss to the song Rock and Roll Radio of ours that was on the Phil Spector album, End of the Century. So I don't question why or what the reasons were. The Ramones continue to be a very valuable, influential band in today's times.
Yes.
And Johnny, Joey, and Dee Dee would have been very happy to see where the Ramones stand at this point in the
for
world.
Sure.
You know,
for sure. And that's a band that when we hear about this band, we can think about a family, because everybody that is on a band got the Ramone name, and that's a thing that we don't see every day, right?
it was a family. We fought like a family. We made up like a family.
Yeah.
Johnny and Joey never talked. They didn't like each other. That was the only problem.
Yeah.
Me and Dee Dee were very close brothers. But all in all, we left all that stuff off the stage. And when we hit the stage, that's what mattered.
Yes.
You know, all the other crap was just so trivial and,
Yeah.
you know.
Long relationships got a lot of things like this.
Yeah,
Like it's like a marriage.
It's a marriage. It's a bit. We traveled in a van.
Yeah.
I was in the group for 15 years, and I did 1,700 shows with the Ramones.
Yeah.
Now, when you're in a van, you're traveling hundreds of miles a day.
Yeah.
It
Together.
can get to you. It can get to you.
Yeah.
So a lot of the times it did. But we persevered, and we continued, and the enjoyment of realizing we were going to play that night was the thing that kept us going.
Yeah, for sure. Mark, thank you so much
Anytime.
for your time.
Thank you.
I'm Bruno Suter, and you watched our interview. Carnival 2013 in MTV is Metalize.
See ya. Hey, all, let's go.